11 ways of arousing concentration. I've spoken about concentration and how to make our concentration strong. So, first way recommended in the Dhamma books, Visuddhimagga, is the cleanliness of the body and the environment. So before you meditate, sometimes it helps to sweep the floor, clean up your house, take a bath. It helps. By the time you finish half an hour the cleaning up or 15 minutes, take a bath, and by the time you change your shirt, you sit down, you'll find very peaceful and calm. So many people find it's very helpful to gain concentration. And the monks are advised to wake up early in the morning, take their bath, sweep their kuti. They have each a small hut, so they have to clean all the leaves and the compound there, and their living quarters as well. They have to arrange all their Dhamma book properly, clean up, no dust, everything clean up, then they meditate. So that helps to develop concentration, cleanliness. So there are some yogis who make it a habit, even when they want to meditate, they change to their meditation robe. It's sort of, when they put the robes, they feel very comfortable and they're ready to meditate. So that's one way of gaining concentration. It is like people who are in the arts of Kung Fu or Judo, they have uniform, or Karate. So when they put their uniform on, wow, they feel like boxing. It gives them that perception that, wow, now they are very strong. So in the same way, cleanliness of the place, which the Buddha recommend to the monks, that the monks must not be untidy. They cannot keep their mustache more than don't know how many inches they have to shave. And their hair also must not be more than certain inches. They have to shave it off so that it can be clean and don't look so untidy and dirty. So they're supposed to bathe early in the morning. So, balance of controlling faculties. We have gone through the faith and the wisdom faculties, and now we are at the concentration balance with energy. So that helps concentration. If your faculties are not balanced, concentration will not be strong, right? So I told you before, we will cover these more detail so that you understand what are the 5 faculties and how to balance up your faculties in your meditation later on. Skill in concentration object. That means you need to develop skill in concentration object. That applies in tranquility meditation as well as vipassana. Skill, like I'm talking about the vipassana, our wisdom meditation. You do not just cling on to the rise and fall. Whatever object is clear, if it's not disturbing, don't bother. Rising, falling. You hear sound also, hearing, come back. Sometimes if it is not loud, you don't bother at all. Just stay on the rising, falling. Or even you have thoughts, but they're not clear, you don't bother about the thoughts. Until you find that you can't concentrate on the rise and fall. Thinking is a lot. Then you direct your attention to the Chittanupassana, watching mind. Then you watch your thoughts. If you can't see it, then you say, well, restlessness, or wandering thoughts, because you cannot see it. But if you can see it, then you name it. All right? And if it settles down, as you watch the mind, the thoughts subside, then you go to the feelings. Now, the feelings in the thoughts, they are very subtle. So if you stay more with the mind, then you can get the mind feeling more clear. You have a lot of thoughts, but you are not aware that this thought cause disturbances. Sometimes you think of your sister, sometimes you think of your son or your husband or your wife or your friends or your work. You thought that they are just thinking, just thoughts. But these thoughts bring with it unpleasant feeling. They are subtle, so you can't feel it. Until these thoughts become constant, a lot of these thoughts arising that cause displeasure thoughts, then only you feel, why I feel so unhappy? Why I'm sad? Why I'm not happy? Why I'm bored? So if these thoughts are neither pleasant nor unpleasant, then it brings boredom to the mind. But if these thoughts arises with displeasure feeling, then it causes ill will and pain and dissatisfaction. So these type of feelings, normally, if you watch your mind, then you can see the mind feeling. Otherwise, what we are practicing now is mostly based on our body feeling. Feeling arises through the body senses, body door. Any part of your body arises feeling as you touch it. Unless it is your nail, then you don't have feeling, nail, or your hair, no feeling. But any other parts of the body you touch arises feeling. So when we meditate, we rely a lot on the body base, body feeling. Why? Because they are gross. Because they are gross, easy to be aware of, because they are gross. So we take them as our object of meditation. But you need also to go to the mind feeling. Now, when we talk about the feelings in the Satipatthana, the Buddha mainly talk on the mind feeling. Pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling, or neutral feeling. Now, the Buddha talk mainly on the mind feeling. So, only when you start looking into the mind, then you start to see the thoughts, then you can see that subtle feeling that arises with the thoughts. Every time we think, feeling arises. If you think pleasant thing, then pleasant feeling arises. Not through the body, but directly through the mind. Directly through the mind door. So if you think of this disagreeable thing or unpleasant things, then this pleasurable feeling arises. But you just think of something that is neither pleasant nor unpleasant, then neutral feeling arises with the thoughts. Neutral. Like when you stay in the house, you look at the chair, you look at the desk. Now this registered in the mind. Oh, it's the floor. Oh, it's the broom, but you don't want to sweep the floor. It's just a broom. You just see, but you don't do anything. Then it is not pleasant object. Neither is it unpleasant object. It is just a neutral object. And then arises the boredom feeling. The feeling that arises is bored because it is not interesting. This object is not pleasurable. Only when you see the television, then you have that pleasant feeling or unpleasant feeling. If the switch on television and the picture there, you don't like it, then ill will arise. Even though you note it as, snake are so ugly. You thought it is just a thought, but actually it has arises with ill will feeling. So feeling from the thoughts. So in other words, you need to see your thoughts, see your mind, then you can experience that feeling arises. Arises from where? Directly in the mind, from your thoughts, from your thinking. But if you can't, you have to still keep on developing mindfulness, relying on the body feeling until your mindfulness is developed, becomes strong, and then your mind feeling becomes strong. Clear or not? So it's a different feeling because it arises from different base. One is body base, another is mind base. So they are different feelings. One is from the thoughts, one is from the feeling of the body. Inner body feeling, external body feeling. Okay? Clear or not? Any question? Clear or not? Not clear, hands up please. All clear. Okay, all clear. Then, Yeah. Oh, good. This reading glass can't see too well. What's the question? Yes, you feel uncomfortable due to tension, due to stress, because it's not stable, because when you sit too long, the stress there on your body, sometimes it's internal parts of your body, when you, like your leg, when it's pressed against each other, so the body feeling is unpleasant. Now, if you don't detach it, then it affects the mind. Then the mind feel, you want to shift. I don't want to meditate anymore. I want to walk. I want to go home. Then it has affect the mind. So when if you are not mindful, not watching the body as body, then you watch your mind, you will see painful feeling, uncomfortable body feeling. But now the mind is uncomfortable. Now just as you watch your body pain, is my mind pain? Then you switch the object to your mind. Is the mind pain? Then sometimes you find that, the body is pain, but the mind is not pain. The mind no pain there. Just the body pain, but mind no pain there. But sometimes the body pain, the mind is very painful. The mind is affected by the body pain. Catch the point not? Because of the mindfulness. So just now I was talking on the subject which the Buddha says, mindfulness, meditation overcomes body and mind pain. So it overcomes the body pain. By watching it, the pain disappears. And it overcomes the mind pain. By watching it with mindfulness, the mind do not have pain. So mindfulness overcomes the mind pain and body pain. So in meditation, you know that if you are able to do that, you have overcome the body pain and the mind pain. Some of them, mindfulness is very sharp. One look at the pain, only the pain disappear. Very sharp mindfulness. You say, the pain, there's strong pain there. And when they direct their attention to the pain, the pain no more, disappear. So, very strong mindfulness. Yes, so when you feel stressed, then you note, the body is stressed. This part is stressed. Then watch that uncomfortable feeling. What type of feeling is that? Now, as you watch it, you will know the body mechanic that your posture is wrong, that your posture is bended or is heavy on the side. Then as you release and adjust your posture, then you'll find that the sensation of the stress and tension disappear. Now that is to be aware of your body. Once you're aware of your body, you're clear awareness of the body, then you can look after your body very well. You know that, I eat this food, a lot of air element, I should stop eating this food. If you're really very aware of your body. But of course, when you are greedy, no awareness is there. You wallop until all the gas come out. First gas go inside, then gas come outside. So gas everywhere, also come out from behind, everywhere. So the mindfulness is sometimes very useful to make note of your body when the body is whether in good condition or not in good condition. Yeah. So just note it. It will pass away. If it doesn't, just do your half an hour, then do your walking meditation. Right? Yes. Any question? Yep. Anybody? No. No, All right. So, skill in concentration object. So you need to be skillful when you meditate. That helps to develop concentration. All right. So when the continuous, as you switch your mind to the different object continuously without letting go of the object, just watching it, see its phenomena, then the continuous mindfulness, even though it is different object, it builds up concentration. And it is especially important in the practice of samatha meditation. Like we are practicing metta, loving kindness meditation. You haven't got the skill yet. There are a lot of skill that you need to learn about the loving kindness meditation. Whether when you touch on to the unpleasant object, the one that you dislike, then you find the mind is not peaceful, then you have to switch back to yourself, or you switch back to your loved ones. Then before you come to the enemy, you got to do a lot of wise reflection, right? So these are techniques of how to handle the skill in objects, meditation objects. Then only your concentration can become very strong, and it sort of deepens and become very strong. So if you don't learn the skill of the meditation objects, then the improvement becomes slow, right? Uplifting the mind when it is lack of energy. So when it is lack of mental energy, when you are lazy, all that, so you need to uplift your mind, bring up energy. Now that this subject is interesting, number 4 one, I will leave it for next lesson to explain more on these. How to bring out the energy in your mind, right? Number 5, calming the mind when excited, when it becomes emotional. When the mind is excited, it's very emotional, then you better go back to your rising and falling. Better know how to calm it. If you don't know how to calm it, when it gets too excited, you can't meditate anymore, right? You need to get too excited, then you know, okay, my mind is getting excited, so I better meditate, right? So go back, rising, falling. So in other words, needs to calm the mind. So there are many ways of calming the mind when the mind is excited. One way is to contemplate on the impermanence of it, right? So, or the suffering of it. Now, you could be very excited if you are going on a long journey, or you're going overseas on a tour. You could be very excited. Well, when you're very excited, you're not calm and peaceful. So you could contemplate that. Well, it's not that so much excitement. It's a lot of suffering going through the custom lah, this and that lah, rushing all over the place lah. Now, once you contemplate on that, then the excitement disappears. So mind becomes quite peaceful again. So that is the calming the mind when excited. Gladden the minds when in pain. So how do you glad the mind when in pain? How do you glad it? Well, if you are suffering, if you are sick, how do you glad your mind? You can't meditate, you feel depressed. Well, you have to have wise reflection, contemplate that, well, I'm sick, but I still can meditate. Or I'm old and sickly, but I still can meditate. I still can catch my rising and falling. Every moment I catch this rise and fall, there's a lots of merits that I have cetana, volition. So by such contemplation, the mind becomes very happy, very happy. There are a lot of contemplation that makes the mind happy, that gladdens the mind when you're sad. Like you contemplate on your precepts, for example. If you consider yourself when you're depressed and sad and you go to sleep with quite unhappiness, a lot of sadness, then you think, okay, my precept today how? Well, I keep my precept. I'm very good. I didn't kill. I didn't steal people's things. I didn't take drugs. I didn't drink liquor. I don't have sexual misconduct. So indeed, I am pure in precepts. So if my precept is pure, that is good, right? I'm progressing in my spiritual life. Now, such type of contemplation, as you do it 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you can contemplate for half an hour just on your precepts. Just contemplate on your precepts. Then my precepts is pure. Then the Buddha says that I'll be born in the Deva world, in the higher world when I pass away. Now, such type of contemplation gladdens the mind. When you're depressed, you think about it 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, then you feel very happy. Mind becomes gladdened, right? So even then, contemplation of the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha also makes the mind very happy. So these are different types of meditation. You don't have to go very deep into it. It's just a basic contemplation. It brings a lot of joy to the mind. And you contemplate on your precepts, contemplate on the Buddha, virtues of the Buddha, so forth. Contemplate on the Dhamma, that you are practicing the Satipatthana, the mindfulness meditation. Indeed, it is not easy. To be born as a human, not easy. To come into contact with the Dhamma, not easy. To come into contact with the Satipatthana, even more difficult. Come across the way out of suffering, even more difficult. But indeed, you have come that far. So once you have such type of contemplation, gladdens the mind, and then you can concentrate. When you sit and meditate, you find your rising and falling quite clear. Right? Sustaining the mind when in concentration, that is important. When you have a good concentration, good meditation, sit longer. Don't cut short. Especially in your house. Don't say, okay, time's up, 50 minutes. When you're in good concentration, no time's up. Sit. Half an hour. Extra. 15 minutes, don't bother. Let it go on and on and on. So that is called try to sustain. Once you sustain your meditation, then when you have concentration, then the concentration becomes very strong and powerful. Right? Avoiding distracted person. That is one of it. That sometimes there are those people that are very irritable person, likes to irritate you. So some type of person, perhaps you try to avoid them. When it mixes them, it makes you very angry. They have a lot of fire and it burns you as well. So one of the way it disturbs your concentration. It is good if you're able to avoid and associate with concentrated person, meditators. Now, it is good to mix with meditators. You find that when you mix with meditators, it makes you more aware. Makes you more aware because you know that the other person is meditating also, and you are meditating also. And if you are not aware, then it is quite disgraceful. Then you say, okay, I better be aware. So the other person makes you more aware. Like when you sit here, you find that you can sit half an hour, but in your house, you can't even sit 15 minutes. Why? Because a lot of meditators and they are able to sit. So they give you a lot of encouragement. When you open your eyes, you see everybody sitting very still, then say, okay, better close my eye again. Right now, but in your house, you would stand up and walk away, but not here. Because you are mixing with the meditators. So that helps in your concentration, in your practice. Reflecting on the 7 benefits of meditation. Just now I was talking introduction to meditation. Talk about the 7 benefits. The last 2 I didn't finish. Time's up. So that helps to contemplate on the benefits of the meditation. Go through the book. Every one of you have this book. Read through the 7 benefits. It's very useful. Develop concentration. That means the benefits of the meditation. Inclining the mind towards development of concentration. Now, how do you incline the mind towards concentration? That is, fixing a time for your meditation. Make it a habit. Now, once you make a habit, a certain time you go and meditate, and at a certain time your mind goes into meditation. So that is fixing your mind into meditation. Second point is make meditation an important part of your life. You don't think that only I meditate. Cannot. You must take it like you are eating food. Meditation is food for the mind. So just as the body needs food, you cannot say, today I don't feel like eating. Tomorrow I don't feel like eating, then you don't eat. Cannot. You don't drink, you don't eat. Cannot. So just as the mind, the same way, the mind needs the proper food, wholesome food. So you need to have time to meditate, to let your mind have proper food, so your mind can be healthy, right? So make development of concentration as a goal in your life. Some of them take it as a hobby. Some of them take it as, something to achieve. Make it a career of meditation. Of course, you can't make money out of meditation, even though some of them make big money out of meditation in America. They make a lot out of meditation. They charge a lot of money in their courses. They make a lot of money out of it. In Malaysia, you go pork guy, you can't make a career out of it. So, but you think that it's a career, means something achievement, that you will do good at it, that you strive to fulfill your goal, to be successful in your career. And if you put that in your mind, meditation as important, then you find that your concentration becomes very strong. Priority, if you put an importance in it, then you develop it. If you only think that free only I do, you'll never be free one. They always say, when I say, hey, you meditate or not? Brother James, no time. I always say, no time. Then I say, when you're going to die, you got time or not? Every moment we are dying, you got time or not? So we must make it a point. Meditation a part of our life. Then only your concentration will become very strong. So these are the 11 ways. So, any question? No question? Take good care of yourself. May all be well and happy. Drive carefully, with mindfulness, right? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.